Well, Greg, can you talk about free will? Do people have free will? Do they have enough free will to choose God?
Okay, yeah. So people do have free wills. They have free wills to choose according to their nature. So a man or a woman will always use their will in accordance with their nature and who they are. So based on their desires and their thoughts and their being and what they like and all these complex issues, they have the freedom to choose within that, right? So if you ask somebody, can they choose chocolate ice cream over strawberry ice cream, they're going to make that choice. They're free to make that choice.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when it comes to Christianity and people say, I believe in free will, what they're talking about is that you believe that man has the capacity to freely choose God or not, right? So man has the capacity to say, I believe in God, I trust his gospel, or I don't. And so that's where the rub is. Because if free will is based on your nature, then the person who says that all those who are born in Adam, have the capacity, the ability to choose God is not thinking about what the scriptures say in regards to their nature. So the nature, they say that the natural man cannot even perceive the things of God. He does not receive the things of God. So there's nothing in man born in Adam to make him want God. In fact, his sin that he commits over his life actually increases his desire to not want God. The more we sin, the farther we get from God, the more hard we get, the more distance we get away from him. Based on our sin, it corrupts us more. So the idea of free will is that, you got two guys, and one of them just hears the gospel, and he's like, oh, yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah. And then another guy hears the gospel, and he's like, nah, I don't want anything to do with it. Right? That's kind of the free will. They think that's the nature of man, but it's not. Nature of man is both these people are corrupt, but all of us are corrupt. All of us are born in Adam with a corrupt, depraved nature. We would never choose God. So we would never do it. And so God, because of his mercy and his grace, acts on our behalf to give us the gift of faith and the ability, a new nature, that does choose him. So a Christian is freely, this is why Christians feel confused, because they feel like they did it.
Yeah.
Because they did. Mm-hmm. But they did it because of something else. They did choose the gospel, but they chose it because God chose to give them a new nature. So they're acting in the same way according to their nature. So he gives us a new nature in Christ and causes us to be born again. Mm-hmm. And then we see the kingdom. Then we see Jesus for who he is. Then we see the gospel as valuable. And the reason you can really think that this is how Paul and them understood grace and salvation is because when you read Paul, and he talks about, like Ephesians chapter 2, that we're saved by grace through faith, and this is a gift of God, not of yourselves. So he's saying it's all grace to you, and faith is a gift.
Yeah.
But he follows by saying, so that no one could boast, right?
Yeah.
And so the unique nature of Christian new birth and the unique nature of Christianity is that God gives it to us as a gift so that we can't boast. So whatever we believe about salvation, it needs to be able to exclude all boasting. And the only one that does is that he freely gave it to us, not of our own, not of our wills, not of anything good that we ever did. He didn't look down the corridors of history and see us choose him and say, okay, I chose them, right? He didn't do any of that. He just, of his own freedom and his own will, chose to give us this. And that means we can't boast over anyone. Now, if I chose it, right? If I chose him and you didn't choose him, right? Mm-hmm. Then I could boast over you, at least. Yeah. I could at least say about you, you're dumb, right? You're dumb. You didn't choose. I was smart enough to choose the gospel. I was smart enough to believe in Christ. But you're dumb and see yourself to hell, right? But what became the distinguishing mark between me and you? Something in me, right? Whereas in a Reformed kind of what's known as a Calvinistic view of grace or of salvation, the boasting is taken away because I could never say to you that there's anything in me that made me believe the gospel. It's something outside of me that happened, so I can't boast over anybody. And then the only thing I can do is thank God for it as the free gift that it is. Mm-hmm. So when people talk about free will, I don't think they're thinking rightly about the nature of man, and I don't think they're understanding will in and of itself and how many things factor into why you choose something in the first place.
Yeah.
So if you love sin, which anybody in Adam does, right? Mm-hmm. You love sin. What all of a sudden about some guy preaching made you not love it anymore and love this Jesus that he's talking about, right? Yeah. He's talking about Jesus, and he died on the cross, and he's glorious and all this stuff, and you went from loving sex and yourself and money and being about whatever you want in life, and all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I want to abandon all that, and I want to follow Jesus and forsake all that and love him, right? Nothing inside of you made that happen. Yeah. God did something in that moment where he caused you to be born again, which caused all those other wills and affections and intellect change and all that.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our YouTube page. We're Christ Fellowship Church, and we create these videos so we can equip Christians and non-Christians about the truths of Christianity. Jesus is Lord, so every question concerns him. So send us your questions to our Facebook page or the email address at the bottom of the screen. We'll make a response video, post it, and then send you the link when we're done. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page and like us on Facebook. Thanks, guys.